think we're ready to start again. Thank you, everybody. I know that it's a morning of learning, and that can be a lot. This section of the seminar today will really be about how to achieve off-the-chart marketing ROI. And the reason that's in quotes is because that's a testimonial from a client of ours who happens to be in Collingwood, Ontario, which is where I spend a lot of time. We are also going to be reviewing a case study of a client in Guelph, Ontario, in a population of 135,000. Those are the two case studies we'll review, but I want you to understand the objective here is to come away with some ideas for your business about how you can begin to grow your practice. There's going to be a lot of information here. We're a little bit behind schedule, so I'll try and value your time and be as efficient as I can. Am I speaking loud enough for the people at the back of the room? Yeah? Okay. I also want to thank our event sponsor today. So Henry Schein has sponsored lunch and breakfast today. So we really appreciate that. Henry Schein, many of you actually work with Henry Schein already, and I know that many of our clients do as well for dental supplies for their practice. They also do veterinary supplies. To start, I'm Kai. I've been a digital marketer for over a decade. I was a news editor with Quebecor Media until about 2006. And really what I try and do in our business, Canopy Media, is enhance the lives of our clients, their employees, and their families as well. And we can do that with digital marketing by helping the people that we work with achieve the goals that they have for themselves. Canopy Media, we were founded in 2007. We've been doing digital marketing for over 10 years, and in-house we have decades of experience with our entire team. I have a technical director who's been building and designing websites for over 2 decades, so you can imagine there's a lot of learning that happens along the way. Our network, WSI, has over 1,000 agencies in 80 countries around the world. We're really proud to be part of this network, and it's one of the things that we leverage to help achieve the results that we do for dental practices. This is our digital marketing map, and it looks a lot like a subway station or a subway map. This could be New York or Toronto. If this were your first time diving into this subway, you would probably find it a little bit difficult to navigate. And it's true, dental marketing is very challenging today. There's a lot of things you can implement. It feels complicated, and you don't know where to start. But I will say, everything that we do for you and everything you do for yourself is a work in progress. You need to be really comfortable with getting started where you are right now. You may not even have a website. You may not have analytics installed. You may or may not have engaged with Google Ads at any point during your business, but you need to get really comfortable with that right now because we're going to talk about a lot of things you can do, but understand that you are in a place where you're at, and that's okay. And then you're going to make some decisions around where you want to go with your business. Big takeaway here. Start your marketing journey with strategy, okay? A lot of that digital marketing landscape is tactics. Those are things you can do. So we get a lot of clients who say, or prospects who come to us and say, we want to do more social media. Well, that's great. Why? What is it that we're trying to achieve with that social media? Or what is it that we're trying to achieve with that content creation? What, in fact, are the goals for your business? That's where you need to start. What is it that you want to do? Then we'll make a plan, and then we'll talk about tactics. And this is a Dilbert cartoon. It says, we plan too much. This is pointy-haired boss here. He doesn't really have a name, I don't think. From now on, we'll have a bias for action. And he says, I want posters that proclaim our commitment to action, and I want them now. And these guys, this is Wally and Ashok, and they come back and they come back with a plan that says, measure once, cut twice. And the pointy-haired boss says, I like it. But the fact of the matter is it's not measure once, cut twice. It's actually measure twice, cut once. Because the results of not measuring properly and not knowing where you are and not having a plan often end up looking like this. Or like this wonderful garage. Okay? We need to have a very clear understanding of what it is we're trying to do before we get moving. Be comfortable where you are, make a strategy, make a plan, and then start thinking about what it is you're going to actually do. So I've told you we're going to talk about case studies. I'll get right to the meat of it immediately. This is our client in Collingwood, Ontario. It's a beautiful place to live. If you've never been there, you should come up. It's absolutely spectacular at this time of year. We more than doubled the average new patients per month for them from 20 to 41 when they started with us. they were getting about 20 new patients a month. They had an annual target of 250, which they were not going to achieve. They were at about 170, and they approached us in September. They did not achieve that, although we did take them to 435 in that same year. We generated 983 patients for them over 24 months. We still work with them, obviously. And this is in a community of 9,000. If you do some quick math there, that's 5% of the population. And most of them already had a dentist. That client enjoys 6,414% return on marketing investment. They do invest heavily in their marketing, but they also yield incredible results. If they spend $1 on their marketing, they get 64 in return. In customer lifetime value. I want to be clear that that's not $1 today, 64 tomorrow. But that client stays with them for an average of 10 years at an average net profit of about $500. This is the testimonial we received from them. Canopy Media not only delivered everything that we asked for, but did so with results that were off the chart. We are now receiving more phone calls from our online presence because of their marketing campaign. Their team was able to identify marketing issues within our organization and tactically address them in a short period of time. We sat down with them, we talked about strategy, we talked about where they wanted to go, and then we talked about tactics. This is Guelph Village Dental. We more than tripled the average new patients per month from 13 to 43. Now that's an average of our total lifespan with them. They actually get about 62 new patients a month now. So from 13 to 62, I don't know what that is, but it's probably close to 5 times the new patients per month. In fact, that client had his accountant tell him that he's in the top 4% in North America for total billables per month on a per dentist basis. That's where we took him. When he sat down with us, it was an emotional discovery meeting, frankly. He was thinking about closing this. And now he's talking with us about where he's opening his next practices. And in fact, we will be picking the locations for him. We have 2 cities that we're opening up in Ontario in January. So not only, if you know what the strategy is, you know what the objective is, now you can start to make some really great choices around what you want to do with your business. And if you work with a Da Vinci, or I'm going to call myself a Michelangelo, if that's okay. If you work with a Da Vinci or a Michelangelo, they will help you make good business decisions because the internet, there's so much data available that we can make decisions that are almost predictable. They're not guaranteed, but they have very high chances of success. We generated 817 patients over 20 months in a community of 135,000. Obviously, it's Guelph. This client enjoys 10,121% return on marketing investment. We generate $101 for every dollar he spends. Imagine, don't expect results like this, if I can be totally honest with you. These are off the chart. They are off the chart. It's possible. But imagine if you spent $1 and you got 2 back. That's good marketing. That's what we want to be doing. If you work with a good Michelangelo or you work with a great Da Vinci, they will do this for you. And they will be accountable at a level that you have never experienced before. Marketing is not just do a bunch of stuff and hope it sticks. It's do a bunch of stuff and then measure and know that it's working. This is their testimonial. This actually made me emotional when I read it the first time. Canopy Media have had a profound effect not only on my business, but my personal life. Due to the enormous ROI I've received, I can work 4 days a week, spend more time with my young family. That's the choice he's making based on the marketing we've done. Now, come January, I don't think he's going to be working 4 days a week. But they are genuinely invested in their clients, and you can read the rest. But Jack's introduced this. Ryan's talked a little bit about it as well. Customer lifetime value. Does everybody have a pen? Everybody has a piece of paper. I want you to write down this number. Write down the number that you think a client earns your business per year. An average client. Maybe they do veneers, but maybe they just do cleanings. Maybe they want all on 4. Maybe they want all on 6 dental implant services, right? Write down the average number a client is worth to you and make sure your neighbor doesn't look at it. And then write down the number of years you think they might hang around. I don't know about you, but I haven't switched dentists since I moved to Collingwood, and that was 9 years ago. So I'm at 9 years, and I'll probably be there for 18. Some of them might move more regularly than that. They might be 4 years or 2 years, or maybe they're students. But on average, what is the average of how much time they spend with you? If that's more than 5 years, you're in great shape. If it's 10 years, you're in really good shape. If it's 20, you're doing incredibly well. That's what customer lifetime value is. The average monetary value of a customer relationship. This is applicable to every vertical, based on the value of projected future revenue, meaning how much do they make you per year times how many years do they hang around with you. And if you're a good dentist, that's a long time. That's another thing. It's not in the deck, but you got to be great. All this marketing is useless if you're not great. Another concept you really need to understand, and I'm not going to get too deep into the equation, but this is how we calculate return on marketing investment. We take the gross profit or net profit minus marketing investment divided by marketing investment. It's a great equation. You multiply 100 by 100 to get a percentage, and that's how you get return on marketing investment. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. You can look it up on the internet, but what you need to understand is these two concepts: customer lifetime value and return on marketing investment. If you know how much a customer is worth to you, you should have a clear understanding of how much you should spend to get them. And then you start to measure how valuable your marketing is to you. You do those things, you have a predictable model for growth. You can do whatever goal it is that you can set. So how do we do it, or how can you do it? We build a website that is fast, mobile friendly, and generates high quality leads, ideally at a high rate. This is not marketing rocket science. If you haven't thought about this for your business, this is the ground floor. This is your foundation. Your website is your fortress. It's your bastion. It's the one thing that people cannot take away from you. You can build a business on Facebook. You probably can, and then Facebook might pull the rug out from under you. You can build a business on Twitter, or you can build a business on a proprietary dental marketing platform that's $99 a month. But 5 years from now, they can take that all away from you. Your website should belong to you. Your domain, Collingwood Dental Center, should belong to you. And everything you do there should be in your control. You do not want to leave that up to another company to make decisions on what they are going to do with your marketing efforts. You need to own your website. And I've seen so many proprietary systems come and go that, frankly, A, are garbage, and B, don't have longevity. The other thing we do is we drive traffic to your website using Google Ads. I'm telling you, what Jack said is absolutely true. This isn't a question, it's a fact. This works in the dentistry vertical, and it works very well. There's other verticals like HVAC that it works really well in, plumbing works really well. There's a host of verticals that Google Ads is off the charts amazing for. Dentistry happens to be one of them. But there's other strategies too, like search engine optimization. I'm going to explain what all these are. And Google My Business. Devote time to measure, review, and improve your marketing results every single month. Make it a recurring calendar event in your calendar. 1 hour. Just take a look. See how things are going and make one change in your marketing strategy based on that assessment. You do that 12 months in a row, and you're going to grow by 25% next year. So, how do we do it? Fast. This is the ground floor. You need a website, it needs to be quick. Okay? Internet users expect a fast, frictionless experience, especially when they're on a phone. I pull out my phone, but they're impatient, they're curious, they're demanding. You need to be thinking about them all the time. All of your marketing efforts, you need to think about mobile, period. That's where you start. Because what's happening now is there's a trend, more mobile users over time, and more activity on mobile than desktop, and that's not going to slow down. Think about your niece or your nephew or your son or your daughter. Okay, they spend more time on their mobile than they do on a computer. They are not like a lot of us. 29% of mobile visitors will go to another site if it's clumsy or slow, so it's got to be great, right? And I don't know if this is funny or not, but 38% of smartphone users have admitted to screaming at or throwing their phone when a page is slow. Okay? Don't make them frustrated. You don't want that to be their first experience with you. Ryan already touched on this. testmysite.thinkwithgoogle.com. Okay, you should do this. It's amazing. It's going to tell you how long it takes to load, and it's going to tell you what to do if there's problems. It's going to literally provide you with a list of the things you should do to make your website faster, and it's free. It's also going to tell you the percentage of traffic that you're probably missing. And for a lot of prospects that come to us, it's 25 to 50% of their traffic disappears. These are people that already searched dentist in your city. And then 50% of them don't get to your site because they just can't be bothered to wait. It's so simple. Speed. Mobile friendly. More than half of your website traffic is coming from a mobile device. You could safely estimate about 55%. So you need to be thinking about mobile users. 2 years from now, that's going to be 60. 2 years after that, it's going to be 65. Okay? This trend is not going away. Chrome has an amazing tool in it under View. It's called Developer Tools. And if you ever want to see what your website looks on an iPhone 6 or an X or a Samsung Galaxy S5, Developer Tools is pretty cool. You literally just click on Developer Tools. It'll start with an iPhone, and you can just do drop-downs about how your website looks to those people on those devices. So you'll find issues immediately, glaring issues, and you'll want to resolve those fast. You want a website that generates leads. Your website is more than a place to get information. It's a marketing powerhouse, okay? It should be designed to generate patient prospects at a high rate. How do we do that? We cultivate trust quickly. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. We provide lots of conversion tools, and I'm going to tell you what that is. But a good example would be being able to click to call, right? Oh, I'm interested in a dentist in your city. There's the mobile-friendly website. There's the phone number. Touch it. Call the front desk, because people honestly buy from people in the end. Like, the internet's a beautiful thing, but people love people. That's how it works. Benchmark 5% conversion. What I'm saying when I say that, or what I mean when I say that, is that for every 100 visitors to your website, you could realistically, if you have a decent website, expect 5 of them to become leads. Now, for Guelph Village Dental, he actually says that if he gets 10 leads, he gets 9 patients. And Collingwood Dental says 8. And they both say, but it's probably 10. They literally turn these leads into patients at a very high rate. So if you get 100 visitors to your website and 5 of them convert, you could realistically expect to have 3 or 4 patients. What was the customer lifetime value of the patient that you just wrote down? 3 or 4 new patients a month that you weren't otherwise going to get? So this is an example. This is Guelph Village Dental's website. This is a work in progress too. He's at a particular stage that's really great, but we improve every month on this. And I was going to do a little exercise where we're going to talk about, well, let's do it. On this page, what do you perceive to be a trust signal? Anybody? A trust signal is something that cultivates trust for a visitor. I'm sorry, at the back there? The ratings. Right there. Oh, that's a good one. Any others? What about this one? He won Patient's Choice winner in 2015. Not bad. I'm starting to believe that this guy's a good dentist, and he is. He's actually a good man on top of it. Ranked number 2 dentist in Guelph by Rate MDs. It's the same thing, but you never know when what they're looking at. And we can track that, by the way. But what about testimonials? On this page is probably 150 testimonials. And a phone number. And I don't mean like click to call, just something that says call us. I mean the actual number. That's a trust signal. It tells people there's somebody on the other end ready to pick up the phone and deal with their problem. That's a trust signal. What about calls to action? I mean, this is like the first little section of Guelph Village Dental's website. Do you know what a call to action is? Does anybody in the room know what a call to action is?
The button or whatever that you encourage people to do something on the page.
That's right. You encourage people to do something on the page. And by encourage, I mean like, look at this. This is a call to action. What does it say? It says call us. That's an active verb. It doesn't mean, hey, here's our phone number. It means call us. It's like I'm telling people, I'm encouraging them. You want to definitely steer people down the path that you want them to take. This says book an appointment. It doesn't say appointment. It doesn't say scheduler. It doesn't say some word that's very easily misconstrued. It's very clear. Book an appointment. Email us. Not our email, not info at such and such and such and such. Email us. Click here to book a free meet and greet. Lots of people, I mean, you guys are dentists. These people come into your office and you put your hands in their mouths, okay? They don't know who you are, right? You're going to sedate them at times, right? Do you think that, I have 3 children, I showed you them. Do you think that I don't want to know who's working with my kids? Or who's going to put me under? This is kind of scary walking into a new practice. Click here to book a free meet and greet. That's very safe. We used to do complimentary consultations, but we found that this converts at a much higher rate. Consultation is kind of freaky. It feels like you're committing to something. It's going to be long. You're going to ask a bunch of questions. This is a meet and greet. Come on in. If you go to this landing page, it says, hey, come on in for a free meet and greet. You know, it'll take 20 minutes. You can sit down in the chair. You can ask me any questions you want. You can get to know me a little bit better. You can see where we are. And if you're interested, we'll book you an appointment. That's it. And it's free. This converts at a very high rate. So what are the results here? This is what I want to get to. These are metrics from Google Analytics, that amazing tool that Ryan talked about. You need to have this. It's free, and it provides deep insight into your website performance. 8.29% conversion. For every 100 people that come to this website, 8% of them convert into actual leads. And most of those convert into patients. And his customer lifetime value is very high. Dentists on average, in, whether we're in a discovery or whether we're actually working with them, they range anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 in customer lifetime value. That's kind of the range that people tell us what they make on an average patient over the course of their lifetime. Okay, we're not going to do the try it now exercises, but you can do it while I'm talking if you want. You should do this. Go to your website right now if you have one. If you don't, go to an associate's website, and if I had more time, I would tell you to try and convert. I mean, really do it. Fill out the form. Call that front desk. You're going to find a number of things in this exercise. Number one, you're going to find most of the time you don't have click to call. When was the last time you were on a website and you had it up in front of you and there was a number there and you pressed it and it didn't work? Oh, did you take out your pen that you have handy in your pocket? Oh, and that notepad while you were driving, and then write down the phone number, and then did you key it into your phone? No. You totally didn't do that, because nobody does that. You need to try this exercise on yourself. Does the website load fast? Faster than 3 seconds? Otherwise, you're losing 50% of your traffic, potentially, let's say. Was it mobile friendly? Yes or no? Was it easy or hard to convert? And then actually try and convert, because you will find all kinds of barriers to that conversion. People get frustrated, and then they take off, and they never contact you again. How do we do it? How can you do it? Drive traffic to your website using Google Ads, search engine optimization, and Google My Business. Visibility online. Cecilia, can you grab me a newspaper over there? Visibility online is a lot like old newspaper advertising. Ryan talked a little bit about real estate in terms of search engine results, that page 1 of Google. Think of that as the front page of your newspaper. That's the same thing. Here's something that's really interesting to me. This is the National Post from yesterday. What is on the front page of this newspaper? An ad. Okay? They're doing the same thing that Google is doing now by giving prominence to advertisers. Okay? Prominence, size, and messaging will determine how much attention you get in search engine results. Prominence being, hey, I'm at the front page of this newspaper. Look at all this exposure Indochinos is getting. Here's the real front page, right? But this actually came like this. That's how it showed up at my room this morning. Prominence is the idea that you're on the top page of the top of the newspaper, or the top of search engine results. That's prominence. Oh, size. What do you think is getting the most attention on this newspaper? Probably the cheapest pot is in Newfoundland. That's what's getting the most attention in this newspaper. All this stuff at the bottom of a search engine results page or a newspaper is getting a lot less attention. And your messaging, right? You'll notice, while I have an old newspaper in the background, this has not changed in 100 years, and it still hasn't changed with the internet as far as I'm concerned. This is how much attention you get. So how do you get prominence, size, and good messaging? Well, when you search dentist in Collingwood or Collingwood dentist or something like that, I mean, we do a lot more specialized stuff for them. Well, there's prominence for you. That Google ad, that's prominence. That's you getting, well, even better, above the fold on the top of the newspaper. This doesn't really work anymore, unfortunately, but this really does work. Oh, and you're in a Google My Business. So these are pulled from Google My Business. This is maps, obviously, right? So this is prominence as well, but it's also size, right? How many square inches are we taking up compared to everybody else? Are we more likely to get clicks than anybody else? We probably are. And if you weren't happy with that, this is size as well. And messaging, looking for a dentist in Collingwood. Collingwood Dental Center provides dental services for families, free consultations. That's a call to action, right? We should say free meet and greet there even. So here's the idea. There's 6 results on this page, and my client has 3 of them. Who do you think's getting the most clicks? Prominence, size, and messaging. Google Ads, I'm not going to belabor this point, but I love Google Ads. They have predictable costs. They'll let you set a budget you're comfortable with. They have predictable outcomes. Here's my recommendation. Try a 4-month experiment with Google Ads. Throw $1,500 or $2,000 a month at it. That is, I agree, a $6,000 to $8,000 capital investment. See if it works. If it doesn't work, can it? I'm sorry, but you're out the money. That's how it works. But what if you get 1 patient and you have an average of $5,000 in customer lifetime value? I guarantee you're going to get more than 1 patient. What if you get 2? You just did $10,000 in customer lifetime value for $6,000. Are you making money? Yes, you are. You're going to get way more than 2. Okay? There's no guarantee in this, but the likelihood that you don't get new patients is very low. If conservatively you could, well, it depends on a wide variety of factors, but my point here is give it a shot. See if it works, and if it doesn't work, can it? It's the same as all your other marketing stuff. If it does work, continue, and then double down. That's how we get 6,000% return on marketing investment. Oh, predictable cost per lead. Imagine knowing that your leads cost $62.76. Kind of like this client. I'm going to walk you through what this is. This client gets about 2,000 impressions of his ad every month. He gets about 118 clicks. Doesn't seem like that many, right? And his average cost per click is $23 in the last 30 days. That seems like off the charts, super expensive, right? But he get 12 web conversions. 12 people submitted a form on his website. And then 32 people called the front desk. 44 total conversions from that month. 44, and most of these people become patients. And his average cost per acquisition or cost per lead is $62.76. Now imagine he was paying, I'm going to do some math here, $62.76 times 10 leads is $620 is what he would spend to get 10 leads. Do you think one of those people is not going to become a patient at an average customer lifetime value of $5,000? You spend $620 to get a $5,000 patient. And quite likely you spent $627 to get about 8 patients. That's cheap. So when Jack asked that question about how much should you pay to get a lead, how much would you really be willing to pay, $10 seems awfully low if your customer lifetime value is $5,000. Do not cheap out on yourself. You want to grow your business, you're going to have to invest in it. This isn't happening by accident. Yes? I can show you that. Can I get to that question? It's a great question. You don't have to, but most of my clients do. I'll tell you why. Because it makes for great relationships. We do great marketing and it costs money. And then we evaluate what those results are, and we know that that client is happy because we've tripled the number of patients they get. They know that we're happy because we're getting paid to do good work. I sleep well, they sleep well, and we have a wonderful time together. The one thing I try and avoid, and I think Jack is a lot like this too, is bad relationships. They're not good for anybody. They drag everybody down. So we want to be highly accountable, and I'll show you what those sheets look like. Search engine optimization, it's a vital component of your digital marketing strategy. It was this part here at the bottom. Technically, these are free clicks. It costs you nothing but your time, really. And I understand that we're time constrained, but this is technically free traffic. And to be frank, some people don't click on Google Ads, and that's fair. I don't know why, because if you're paying for advertising, you're probably going to make sure that that ad aligns tightly with what people are looking for. You're not going to waste money there. It does give you increased visibility in search engines as well. So now we're in the Google Ads, we're in Google Maps, and we are in the organic search results, and all of a sudden you're getting a ton of prominence. What does that look like for our clients? So this is an example. I don't, ranking number 1, 2, or 3. I'm not saying you're going to get a bunch of number 1 rankings. It's not really what you should try and achieve. What you should try and achieve is the most visibility possible for the most keywords that you can rank for. You don't have to be number 1 to get clicks. And nobody should ever promise you that either. Google My Business. I love Google My Business. It's free. It's a free listing. And frankly, you're going to invest 2 hours of your time to do a great Google My Business listing. If there's a key takeaway. Take 2 hours and make sure your Google My Business listing is fully up to date. Has pictures of your practice. Name, address, phone number, a good description, right? Well categorized, okay? This is super high value right here. Why is it good return on marketing investment? Because it's free, it takes you 2 hours, and you're going to get a bunch of traffic to your website. Also, it has reviews. Oh, right. This is an example of one, reviews. That's a trust signal. 21 5-star reviews. Those aren't fake, those are real. Yes, Dr. Mystery, he asks his clients that are happy to review him. The clients that are unhappy, I don't know if there is any, you don't ask them to review you. But they will anyway. People that are upset tend to want to provide that feedback more than people that are happy. That's why you have to ask the people that are happy and then make it easy for them. We have a bunch of strategies for that as well. So try it now. You should do this as well. This is a different exercise. Type in a keyword plus your city and see what comes up. Are you there? What is a service you want to provide? Is it orthodontics? Is it dental implants? Mark them. If you don't show up there, you need to remedy that situation, because we all agree that a prospective patient is going to use the internet to find the dentist of their choice, period. You should do these exercises, I'm serious. Do the keyword research and then see what the results are, and also just go to your website and try and convert. So how can you do it? How am I doing for time?
10 after 12.
Great. Devote time to measure, review, and improve your marketing results every single month. Do not stop doing this. Make an hour every month. Make it a calendar item. Make it non-negotiable. Google Analytics allows you to evaluate the traffic to your website. Don't expect off-the-charts results. Like this is Calling with Dental with 1,300 visits per month. It's not. You don't need 10,000 visits per month, right? And don't expect that either. If 1,000 is fine. 500 is fine. It depends on what you're trying to achieve. You're not going viral, by the way. Okay? You're a dental practice, so don't expect that either. Expect to deliver really high valuable information to your prospects as often as possible. This is their conversion rate. In the month of August of this year, they were at 6.5%. We benchmark 5%. So that's really important. This is when we started with them, by the way. They were closer to maybe 1 or 2% tops. Conversion rate. And here's the thing, most websites might convert at 1%. So for every 100 visitors, they get 1 lead. You have to do the work to get a good conversion rate. And imagine being able to quintuple the volume of leads your business gets just by improving your website with some of those tactics that I talked about. So these guys got 6.5%. It's not always 6.5. This is closer to 4, but that's fine. It's still 4 times the leads they were getting. Plus we doubled their traffic. But I want you to, and then evaluate how many conversions you get. It was 61 in the month of August. So that's 2 leads per day compared to what they were getting, which was 2 leads per week. That's a significant increase. That's how we doubled their patients. The other thing that's really interesting is you can start to track for high-value services that you want to provide. So they're very interested in orthodontics, and they're very interested in dental implants. Those are high-value services. They have high return for your business. They generate significant revenue. So we started tracking those kinds of conversions as well and trying to drive those kinds of conversions. Every time one of these comes in, I notice I'd made them probably $4,000 or $5,000. Do they sleep well at night? Yep. So do I. Complimentary consultations. And then phone numbers, clicks. So you need to track the volume of phone calls your website is delivering as well. I'm just trying to open your mind to the possibilities here. I know that you're looking at this going, how do I do that? But these are all things you can do. The other thing that we can do that I love doing this, Jack, is call tracking numbers. So digital marketing have so many collateral benefits for your business, but call tracking is one of the best. So for any paid search campaigns we do what's called call tracking, and which allows us to track the number of phone calls from paid search, because you want to know which marketing channel you're using is performing well. Secondarily, it allows us to record those phone calls, and I have time for a quick anecdote, I hope. Before I tell you that story, look at this. You want deep insight into your business? This is in the last 30 days, they've missed 21 phone calls from paid search. Now, that tells us they missed 41% of their paid search phone calls, but that's probably 41% of all of the phone calls to their business, whether they came from yellow pages or whether they came from organic search. They're probably missing 40% of their phone calls, and I know those phone calls convert at a high rate. This is not acceptable. You need to hire. These leads are worth $5,000 for this business, and they're missing 21 calls. Do some quick math there. That's $100,000 in lost potential revenue just because they didn't pick up the phone. I can't believe how many businesses I tell to pick up the phone. So we record these phone calls as well. And I have a client in Ontario who deals in heavy equipment. And that client has 9 people at his front desk, parts department, so on and so forth. They have 3 locations. They are a great business. But they did have a member of their team that was answering the phone calls, and depending on a prospect's background, they were hanging up on them if they were the wrong background. Can you imagine what my client felt when I told him that? I said, I'm going to call him Charlie. Charlie is hanging up on your clients that are not pure Canadian, let's call it. If you can believe it, in this day and age. Now, our client would have never known that if we had not recorded these phone calls. So what's happening here is your digital marketing is now having collateral benefits in your own business. Customer service is your number one priority. And if the people that deal with your customers and your prospects are not good, you need to know. This is a great tool for finding that out. You all have front desk staff, you all have receptionists, you have people booking appointments. If those people are not great, you need to replace them, period, because they are your front line. So, do we track patient growth and return on marketing investment? Yes, we do. So this is a simple spreadsheet. This doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, probably throughout this presentation, you notice a bunch of duct tape. I'm telling you, all of these things don't have to be sophisticated technical things. They can be, but they can just be little improvements to your business that you build in your workshop. If you do it every month, it's going to have huge impact on your business. So we track patients. They tell us. Every month, Susan emails me the numbers. Susan actually can fill it in herself. She doesn't really understand that Google Docs are editable by her, so that's that. But Susan sends me these numbers, and then we track. So that's sort of how it looked. 20, and then October, we are at 60 already. That was 4 months in. This is data from them. This isn't data I make up. I want them to know. I want you to know that what we do works. And if it's not working, you should fire us. This is a much more detailed spreadsheet of something like that. It includes return on marketing investment. But really, this client wants a better understanding of, whether they walked in the front door or they came from Google, right? They ask everybody, how'd you find us? So we found you on Google. They'll never be able to figure out if that's paid search or organic, but Google's good enough for us. Referrals. Notice as patient count goes up, so do referrals. So that's another collateral benefit of marketing. I'd say for every 5 patients you have, you'll get 1 referral. That's 0.2%. Right? Other, newspaper, maybe they did some work around town or something like that. This is your total new patients, 13 to start. And now we're at 64 in the month of June. We're 48 in August, and I don't have data for September, but you get the idea. And here's our return on marketing investment calculations. So the idea here is you can track as much as you're interested in. You can keep it simple, or you can get super complex. That's not even that complex. We can go way deeper than this. But the point here is the client needs to understand what's happening as a result of their marketing. Okay, so to recap, start with strategy. I hope that you've been able to find 1 or 2 things out of this that you can implement immediately. If you haven't, Google my business. Okay, there it is. Super simple. Just go do that. Do the 2 try it now exercises, but you don't want to end up here. This is a house with a door on the 2nd floor and a window on the 1st. I don't really even get how you get there. And this is not a driveway you would want to drive up and down in a Canadian winter. Start with strategy. Plan, then execute. Pick a tactic that you think is going to work to achieve the objectives that you have. So if you're interested, you're more than welcome, or if you don't know what your strategy should be, we do this for dentists in Ontario typically. We are relatively local. We do offer a free strategy session if you don't know where to go. That strategy session that we're offering includes myself and Jack. If you already have a paid search campaign, you are more than welcome to have an audit done by Jack. And I'm telling you, he is a Da Vinci, and he's going to take 20 minutes or half an hour, and he's going to find 3 huge wins in your paid search campaign right there. A strategy session will also help you define where you are and what you should do next. We do prepare those for you. We have fairly elaborate proposals that we only pitch if we think they'll work. In fact, I sent an email to a prospect 2 weeks ago that said, "You're in pretty great shape. You should probably just stick with what you're doing. I don't think you can ROI off the work we're going to do for you." I only want to work in relationships, and my business only works in relationships where I know I can deliver return on investment. I do not want to sell you a bunch of marketing stuff. What I want to do is grow your business, and that starts with strategy. That URL, by the way, this is canopymedia.ca/book your free online marketing consultation. But there's also on the home page, it says, there's a little call to action. It says free advice. Click on that, and there's 3 or 4 fields here, and you can fill it in, and we'll set something up. Jack and I will work together in terms of setting up time, or there's ways that we can do audits without you being in the room as well. Okay? We do also, in this scenario, provide a deep insight into your existing website if you have one. Thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate your time, everybody.